Transition is
Hey,
beautiful every time. We didn't forget about y'all.
Chilling at the head of the table where
we
the
did
boss
not.
is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out there, laid a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow, it's off the hip. Yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out there, laid a big smile, no handcuff by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters. Pow, it's off the hip. Chilling at the head of the table where the boss is sitting, stunning everything in sight. Whether it's in the bloodline or corporate, walk me out the arena, big smile, no handcuffed by officers.
Hold on, wait. Yes, sir. My brother Razor. Man, the final countdown. We are tuned in tonight for AEW Wrestle Scheme. Pardon me, Wrestle Dream. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It felt like a scheme to me. You know
Well,
what I'm
before we
saying?
get any further, a moment of silence for the end of an era. For tonight was the final countdown for the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan.
I think I want to get into that to start off. Thank you for leading the way because we're gonna get right into that. Honestly, I felt like
Oh, the match itself or the bullshit afterwards?
everything, everything. Because if this was indeed the end, which I don't feel like it was, this had to be maybe the worst send off up there, right next to Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin.
I think this lapsed that by about a few country miles and a half.
Fuck.
At least that was a straight up one-on-one match. This one, I tried killing you a month ago. I tried killing you today. The fuck out of here. Thank you for your
Oh,
service.
and by the way,
But no, let me forget. Mox to give the traditional bow at the end
and by the way, Swerve Strickland's title reign had to fall casualty for this shit.
at Wembley. Let's not forget, at Wembley. Your big show. You just got the new money. You just got the bag, the rights deal. This shit didn't really work a month ago in Chicago. You're trying it again now. Why? You saw how dead that crowd was right when you got the bag.
It was very bizarre. It was odd. I don't understand what was the mission we looking to accomplish with this. Moxley has been fucking over since the Shield. The Swerve Strickland's case was different. He just got released from WWE and Hit Row. He was just finding himself. He did his work in Lucha
We all knew
Underground.
something was there with Swerve. Moxley came from the highest of highs. Now again, let's be honest. If this is Danielson's goodbyes, I'm kind of okay with Moxley taking the reins because if memory serves, through all their bullshit, through Brawl Out, through the pandemic, anything that has put a dark cloud over AEW negatively, Tony's White Knight, as you put it privately, his John Cena is John Moxley. Now again, if that's your reliable duo, okay, cool, no problem. The fans, well, up until now, they love him, so they're okay with it. Now, remember, at any point in time, Christian could catch him. So, do we really want to see a Moxley versus Christian Cage?
No, at least I don't. I seen Murder. I see you out there, brother. Looking real sharp in that suit, my brother. I see you, man.
Murder, clean, lady boy.
Clean, my brother. I don't want to see that matchup. I seen Tony
And
Khan tweet Christian Cage is the man. Like,
so that was some of his bullshit last night. I'll get into that after we get into this, but
I gotta
mind you,
cross applesauce for this shit.
now mind you, this could have been Danielson versus Darby, which would have been just fine. two kids from the Washington area, not too far from their respective home cities. If this was a send up, very cool. Send the crowd home happy. But this, well, we got it after spending, and of all things, tell Wheeler Yuta chime in and do this after Claudio Pac been beating the fuck out of him for the last month.
Again, the word I'm gonna use for me is bizarre, odd. It would have more to me if Swerve Strickland beats Daniel Bryan, keeps the championship. What? All right. How long do we? Again, I don't feel like this was the end for Bryan. I feel like we're gonna get something down the road. Like if this was indeed the send off, a L, we beat the fucking living crap out of you and packed you up. And then, like you said, Wheeler Yuta coming back and turning again. It's just weird stuff with him. He's never really been charismatic to begin with for me. He's never like, he's
Not
great in
good.
the ring. Yeah, he's great with what he does in the ring, but character wise, I haven't seen
You
nothing.
are a lot nicer than me.
You don't fuck with his in ring stuff. I think he gets away
I
with.
didn't. Ever since I first saw him in MLW, even that bullshit game show they had on Prime, it even had Jeff Cobb. He ain't the dude.
No, yeah, he's not. He's not. He's a good worker, but he's not the dude, man.
He again, because of who he's working alongside, I have more faith in him than I do Hangman Page. But that's a conversation for a different day.
And I think that's the only reason why I give Wheeler Yuta any kind of like benefit of the doubt is because who he's been paired with. It was bizarre when they added him to the BCC. In my opinion, I was like,
I
wait,
mean, every faction needs
that
a
oddball, that third
lackey.
wheel.
They need a lacking stock. I mean, Judgment Day had R Truth and JD, and then Carlito.
It's just man, that moment, and then we get too many returns, in my opinion. Like
I didn't mind the returns for the most part, but overall they seemed unnecessary. More importantly, the big story leading into what was it, Wembley last year or beginning of this year, whatever it was, when we got the devil stuff. Adam Cole was revealed to be the devil. Now the motherfucker's a babyface.
but
Also,
is blood and guts
is
coming
Adam
up
Cole is
anytime
Adam
soon?
Cole small? Is Adam Cole smaller than Riho now? Because goddamn, my boy Britt, what are you feeding him? Oh, no, wait, he ain't Britt no more. That could be why she left. So, my bad. I'm not sorry.
I was a huge Adam Cole guy too, so I really don't, you know, I really don't have no words. I actually just to get into that as well. I felt like remember we talk about classic hits. He didn't do too much of the classic, but again, going back to that colorway, it's very familiar. I associate black and yellow with your time on NXT, Undisputed Era, when you guys were going
But
crazy.
when he came back, he kind of stuck with the black and gold. He's kind of had that for the most part, and then that's why it was weird when we got Undisputed Kingdom. They were the main color was in theory supposed to be all black, but they still wore different shit. Is that even still a thing?
There's a lot of questions. I guess this is our reason to tune in Wednesday, right? Are they going head to head again on Tuesdays now? Like, I don't know
Uh,
what's going on here,
is the
folks.
is the ALCS, is that a Fox thing or is that a TBS thing?
I want to
That might be a
say
Fox thing.
no, I think it's TBS or the
Because what's the
Yankee. I
World
think
Series
the
going to be? Because right now it'll be the same network that I have the World Series.
Yankees were on Max, so they won't
No,
the
no,
same.
no. But I know, but when they had the baseball playoffs, each network or bids for either the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
divisional series, the championship.
Yep, that's why I don't know the way that the last series went. They had the Yankees on
Historically, it's been on
TBS.
Fox.
Yeah, they had the
It could
Yankees
be
on
it could be
TBS,
ESPN, honestly.
and the other team, the Mets, was on. I believe they were on their own channel or CW, but the Yankees were on TBS. because I was watching their stream from the new Max, the
but
HBO
but
Max app that they have.
they could honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if they're all on ESPN, which means that they'll likely be back on Wednesdays because I mean honestly, this is the second time this year they've gone head to head. Three if you count last year where WWE smoked them by 100 grand at least. This past week it was what NXT did more than Rampage, Dynamite, Collision combined. Sexy Red cleared 3 shows. Let that sink in, folks.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. With the exception, I feel like of the Darby Allin and Brody King match, I feel like I didn't really get much, and I really understood that today watching the AEW pay per view that you have to keep up with them week to week to really know what's going on. There were some
As
things I
far as
didn't
as
know.
far as the general angles, yes, because god damn, Excalibur and Shivani suck.
Yeah, they're not helping me the way that a Corey Graves, a Wade Barrett, Michael Cole helped me.
Even the video packages aren't the same. They don't give the same feel. I mean, or you could tell where certain folks, i.e., who are friends with the Bucks, get better camera angles, get better privileges. For example, shout out to Amazing Red, New York legend, wrestling legend. That video package with him and Pratt Party was fucking magical. That
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 was
was
one of the
beautiful.
better. That was one of the better. And
Like
again,
shout out Tony, you get a knock for me for that one. That one was beautiful.
and that was different. But again, if I'm a new watcher, it didn't really help me understand the history of these teams
And
battling.
and, and again, had Shivani and Nigel and even Excalibur did a better job of portraying. I mean, yeah, they touched on Red's history, but again, this should have been touched on the last 3 weeks prior for this match. But then again, they won a battle royal. You could have brought Red in this past Wednesday to do some shit to set a table.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure, for sure.
and this would have made everything that much better.
And then also, what doesn't help for me, to be honest, 5 years ago, Zay was actually called Isaiah Cassidy. So
And
again,
it was Mark Quinn. But
so
that, but that's I think that's a recent adjustment with them too.
yeah, it's like okay, so give us some more. I see, like you said, the Amazing Red. We getting some more seriousness, but then you guys go back and wear the private party outfit from when you beat them 5 years ago, which is like,
Yeah, Isaiah had the same J's on that when they beat him the first time. But again, like my little thing with them, if when you bring in red, you incorporate their history with the city of New York. Why aren't they in pinstripes? Why aren't they in the blue and orange for the Mets? Something.
and
As
this
Red
is
said, you guys are representing New York. You guys are New York. It's the little things that could have went a long way that make
is
things a
this
little bit better.
is this their first time being built from New York? Because I feel like this is the first time that I
They've
really heard like Brooklyn, New York.
this is yeah, this was the first time because usually like they're what from the VIP section or some shit like that.
Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, so this more recently they've been representing New York. And again, in my opinion, being a fan of sport and of wrestling, this would be our first time to put both of them together. They've done it's like City Inspired year before. Yeah, to me, it was very one. It was Miami by its ass. Two, I don't know if you noticed, their shit matched the Young Buck shit.
yeah.
Now
You
it's
talking
almost
about
like
in terms?
Paisley and the fucking pearls and shit, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
similar. They
I
both
don't,
had
and
the
that's
powder blue and the hot pink.
and I we've spoken about this back to even the Randy Orton and Gunther match, just so that folks don't think we came on here tonight just to throw shade at AEW. You know what I'm
You
saying?
talking
Shout out
they
to the
both
19.
were rocking the red.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yup. Shout out to the 19 folks that we got in here rocking out with us. You know what I'm saying? 20
I
now.
love y'all.
Yes, we love y'all, man. We out here for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not to throw shade at AEW, but it is a little hard on the eyes. I've said this before. You don't see the same sports teams. You don't see one team wearing red and the other team wearing red, or red and orange, similar colors, close to. You want to keep it like it just
Now,
it was a little weird.
I was hoping that the Alvin Pearls and Matt Jackson were stitched to the vest that he was wearing, but they weren't.
What's interesting too? And it's little things, right? I was just listening to Busted Open. Shout out to Busted Open. Tommy Dreamer was talking about how he had a match with Mick Foley back in whatever when he was Cactus Jack in ECW, and a piece of a button from the flannel broke from Mick Foley's flannel, and it actually cut Tommy Dreamer. And it's like the little things that people add to their outfits and stuff. Like, yeah, like when Sean did it, you'll see Sean come out with the vest and the chaps, but that's off by the time
Scott
he gets
Steiner
in the
with the
ring.
chainmail headdress.
The earrings, the cross earrings dropping down to his shoulder, like that's cool. But when it comes time to in the ring, he took all that shit off. Like, and I mean, these guys will learn, but it's a little bit distracting as a viewer. As a competitor, I can just imagine they have to just be more careful as well. You know what I'm saying? Just little things just flying off they wardrobe and stuff. But that's the little things right there. We're not going to nitpick at that, but the match itself was fine. I didn't think I think this was the chance, like you said, a new era. This was a chance for this Wrestle Dream to be that, and this match for me, it took a step back. And I say that because we seen earlier in the night the right title change hands. We seen Takeshita finally get the look he deserved. I thought maybe this is be a time to give a fresh look for the tag team division in AEW. Let Private Party get their little moment.
Private Party, the Acclaimed, FTR, Starks and Hobbs, Starks and Bill. I can go on and on. How many tandem pairings have suffered because the Young Bucks think they're the greatest tag team walking the planet?
And I give it to them. Like in the ring, I was like, wow. Like they for me not seeing
No,
them go.
no, no. This was one of the better Bucks matches in a while. I'll give them that. But as far as popularity, especially with a certain gentleman in the opening match of this show, they ain't it. They're
Man,
it's just not good.
Hangman doesn't do it for me. He didn't do it for me as a face. He doesn't do it for me as a heel. It just feels too forced. Especially like I'm gonna be honest, somebody's gonna. I don't know if I'm just overlooking things. It feels like somebody's gonna get hurt with like in his heel. Feel like you're doing too much to try to create a shock moment or like to lay it in too much to really play into the character.
And here's the thing: when you have individuals like Darby, Moxley, Swerve, Juice, and Jay, if they can't really get much out of you, and these are five of the upper echelon of guys as far as talent, mic work, all across the board. If they're still lapping you, guess what? You're not a top guy.
But it's still
You
fucking
weren't. You're not a top
interesting.
guy in AEW. You weren't a top guy in New Japan. You were barely a mid Carter in Ring of Honor because everyone was always hurt.
It's just fucking interesting how he still gets a match on this card while Swerve doesn't. But I give Swerve credit for when he came out and cut his promo and he played into the cage match and how he's still banged up and recovering from those events. But it's just crazy, man. Like
I would have preferred either that eight man, yeah, I would prefer that 8-man tag, or the match that had the Acclaimed and MXM or MXM featuring the returning SmackDown legend Mr. Rico Constantino, the man with the greatest mutton chops in history.
I was a blast from the past right there. I'm not gonna lie. I told you this off air. Billy, he's found a way to really test
Rico not far
limits.
off.
Man, I'm surprised to see him in the ring too. I felt like I was like, man, they really got this guy. Like I thought they went and put makeup on somebody to look like him for a second.
Palumbo, where are you at, my guy?
No, that's him. That's him.
And then can you imagine you get them three together and you just tease, you look so good to me.
If they acquire the rights to that song, that'd be crazy. Cause it's like, all right, some of the
You'll
other
get a lot
songs,
of old school fans.
yeah, like I get like, okay, what was the more surprising theme song you think AEW acquired? Did they really acquire a WWE theme song though, or were all of those just made by real
No.
bands and
The
artists?
hard on their song that they made small adjustments to Metalingus.
Okay,
Uh, Christians is more of a generic remix of his TNA theme, but those would have been the only ones that were close. But the Metalingus one, that's probably the closest one to them taking the actual WWE song because WWE will not let go of the Brood song, no matter how much Tony's trying to throw money at them.
I just want to say something too, cause I got this graphic in front of me. Well, you can't see it, but it's the card from WrestleDream. That TNT championship in the ring in person. I like that little YouTube, that little short video he did on Instagram, whatever. It was cool him making a belt, but I'm not sure. I could see that title going away pretty soon. That one is going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because again, I mean, will they rebrand it the Max Championship?
Lord.
And then it come January, we'll get Jungle Boy versus MJF. Oh shit!
I'm glad you bring up MJF, another person that they seem to plug and play every time they want a nice pop for a return. I feel like it just so happens to be every time I watch an AEW pay per view, this motherfucker's returning. I promise you.
Because
The last pay per view I
when
watched,
did Danny
motherfucker,
Garcia beat him? Was it Wembley or was it Chicago?
it might have been Chicago, no?
And that, again, that's only a month ago.
Yeah, because the rematch was with him and Osprey at Wembley, no? For the what was
Wembley
then
came before Chicago. Yes. So yeah. Wembley was MJF Osprey. Osprey won the belt. Chicago was MJF Garcia,
yeah.
and Daniel Garcia won a blood feud with no blood.
And
Oh
that's
Lord
and
have
that's what I'm
mercy.
saying. And that's what I'm saying, right? Prior to this, I think the last AEW pay-per-view I watched, that's when MJF returned with the Triple H jacket and all of that bullshit. And then he came back on the episode of Dynamite or some shit and fought what's this dude named Roosh?
Yeah,
Remember his
it was
first
Ruse, then
Yup.
Echistero, and then yeah.
Like bro, all I know he's just like the fucking return guy now. Shit's crazy.
If he's on a pay per appearance deal, he's definitely got Tony Khan by the nuts and both beat up his ass saying, I pay you what I want when I tell you how much I want and how much I want.
Yeah, it's a very interesting scenario, and I'm not sure if that's
But
done by design on MJF's part, but as a
well,
person that I like,
let's think
I
about it.
enjoy
Between MJF, Daniel Garcia, Swerve, just those three guys alone, or let's for sake of conversation, let's throw in Buddy Murphy. Four guys that Tony Khan is paying whatever the fuck these gentlemen want just to not go to Triple H. Where have we seen Buddy in the last 6 months, let alone this year?
taking pictures on his wife's ass. I'd be
Also,
doing the same thing if I'm
I guess
AEW.
they got hit by the hurricanes. Hopefully, him and Rio are okay.
I mean
But
that yeah.
but again, just those four guys alone. Imagine what Tony's paying for those four.
It's not doing me any favors with MJF because I really enjoyed a lot of his work, and I feel like now it's just again what another person I enjoyed, Daniel Garcia, right? What was the point of tonight for him? I thought initially I'm looking at the okay, he comes in for the save. Cool, we got him looking right. Then he gets beat up by MJF. So okay, now we're gonna give him the sympathetic babyface look, right? Like okay,
He got big broed. He
yeah,
was
but that's
made to
the
be
fucking
MJ. He was
problem.
made. He was set up to be MJF's bitch. That's all
And
this was.
it's a problem on so many levels because it does nothing for Daniel Garcia if you're trying to build him
It
because
does nothing for anybody.
MJF's gonna get the pop he gets regardless.
He gotta take the loss. Daniel Garcia got punked by MJF. MJF was at best, and Jungle Boy was null and void. So nobody benefited from this.
Motherfucker just walked out the ring untouched.
Nobody benefited from this.
Unscathed.
And then we get Adam Cole, baby, right immediately following that. And again, is Adam Cole smaller than Riho? Pretty damn close to size right now, if you ask me.
I'm not gonna lie, Rey Mysterio got more size than Adam Cole. For real, for real.
Alexa Bliss got more size than Adam Cole. And again, like, bro, are you even eating? Are you okay?
Nah, that got it. He said, "Are you even eating?"
I saw someone post on Twitter not too long ago. Adam Cole ran you on two guys that came back from very fatal lengths of injuries or serious injuries lengths.
Yeah,
One
could have been
had a gym
career
membership,
ending.
the other one didn't.
I mean, you know what it is. I don't know Adam Cole personally, but he doesn't strike me as the type to just you know what I'm saying. I don't know if he can't put on the size. If he just seems content with. I mean, hell, even Brian Cage, right? Brian Cage was damn near. I don't want to say as skinny as Adam Cole, but he was a slimmer dude than what we know him to be now.
Science is a beautiful thing, isn't it? As Pat McAfee would put it.
Yeah.
But again, or you even if you don't go that route, just shit. I mean, he when he first started, he had a little bit of size on him, maybe at 10, 15 years ago in Ring of Honor. Like he had some size, just take your ass in the gym,
Yeah,
tone
nah,
it out. I
yeah.
mean, shit, Ludwig Kaiser isn't really that big by default, and he looks like he's in damn good shape.
He's entering that territory. Like when I was a kid and I seen Shawn Michael come back and Shawn wasn't on the stuff anymore, and you just see that droopy chest, skinny
Yeah.
Shawn with the baggy leather like that. He's
Me and my
entering those
boys used to call it the Hulk Hogan Uniboob.
ah yeah. That droopy former steroid chest. Like and he's probably never hit the steroids, but he's entering that level of
He looks
weirdness.
deflated.
Yeah, yeah.
But again, hit the gym, eat a few steaks, shit, eat some cheeseburgers, god damn it, so anything.
Something. Anything.
Like that, there better be a six pack under that at least.
Man, he said motherfucker gotta get right, man.
Something. I mean, shit. I mean, they're paying
Nah,
you enough.
I'm not gonna lie too. In this landscape, like other than his popularity, you're right. The dude is like, I mean, like, he's in
Again,
that Johnny Gargano.
this is probably a horrible example, but look at Buddy Murphy. The little times we do see him, he looks like a fucking Greek god.
Nah, and this
Like I
move,
said, he's
it's
camera ready.
nah, yeah, for sure. And this move set too, like,
Even Pac, when we barely see him, when he pulls up, he's camera ready. Roosh, camera ready. Jay Wyatt, Juice Robinson, camera ready. Go to WWE. Randy Orton put on 50 fucking pounds and looks like out to a monster.
let me ask you because I feel
AJ
like
Styles is like a fucking monster.
let me ask you 'cause I feel like at one point it was cool to have the oh so relatable wrestler, right? Like the wrestler that's making vlogs, they're tweeting, they're doing the everyday
Okay,
things that we
so
love to do.
let's use Sami Zayn as an example. He's still in some sort of shape. He's still got some size to him. Kevin Owens, he's got some healthy size to him. Hell, look at the fucking the Dark Order boys, Silver and Reynolds. They got some size to them.
Definitely.
What's stopping Adam? Look at Tyler Breeze.
I
He's
mean,
still got some size to him.
even Daniel Bryan,
Yeah, what's
Bryan
stopping Adam
Danielson,
Cole?
and to me, that's what separates Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson. I don't see Cole like he's already reached that career point where he should have been this. It's a little
We did
too
we
late
didn't
for
see
me.
we didn't see Kyle O'Reilly for almost 2 years because we thought he was going to be retired due to permanent neck damage. When he came back, by the grace of God, he came in ring shape. Hell, when Sheamus came back, he wasn't in the healthiest form, but he got his shit right.
Yeah, I mean, the brother got to do
What's
what he
what's
got to do, man, to look right out there. And right now, I don't know, cause again, you tell me if you put him and MJF in the program with all the people MJF has beaten, I expect him to beat Adam Cole as well. Especially if MJF is on the heel side of things right now. He'll do anything to win.
if MJF does this, Adam Cole's flying over that top rope. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Riho could kick his ass right now. Mercedes could kick his ass right now. Don't let him get in
Mina,
the ring with Athena. She'll kill him.
Mina,
Hey, leave me to Jericho out of this.
man.
That woman is special.
What else we had on the card? We had the Darby Allen Brody King match. I felt like that was a good match, but again, I feel like it's kind of
that was one of those. That was a safe audible. Though again, those two again, as crazy as Darby has been known to get, and as crazy as Brody gets, they have chemistry. If you want a match that's going to be solid for that AEW style, you can't go wrong with those two.
nah for sure.
And,
Like
this is one of the few times where the commentary did a good job because they kept talking about Darby's only beaten him one time, but he's never won via pinfall. And they kept stressing that, kept telling a story about that. Now, where shit went a little bit south for my personal taste, I'm sure you probably have similar feelings about this. Brody King's laying on the side of the steps, and Darby goes for that coffin drop.
right.
I'm relieved that Brody stayed there, didn't move out of the way, because I swear to God, I thought Darby was going to just land flat on his back on the side of those steps again.
I had to do like the quick logistics in my head. I was like, yo, if Brody gets off of this, he's gonna have to get off
I'm
so
doing one of these.
yeah, cause I just envisioned the steps tipping over, some crazy stuff happening.
Him bounce off the steps, standing up, right to the steps, fall down, he falls back again. Some stupid, crazy shit where it's like, this motherfucker might be dead.
hmm And it was also that moment too. And like, I'm glad you point that out because that was a moment that stuck out to me in the match. That was like he's caught Darby Allen in a more dangerous, serious. He got that Kofi Kingston stuff going on where like you watch him and you're like, what he's gonna do now? How he's gonna pull it off this time? And throughout the match, I'm waiting for like
Yeah,
that
like, well,
crazy
you
moment.
call the Kobe Kingston stuff, you call it the Shane McMahon stuff.
Yeah,
Boom,
definitely
boom,
Shane
boom, the Shane,
McMahon
it's
is.
like, or even the Jeff Hardy stuff, like, okay, what stupid shit are you going to do this time?
How you gonna risk it
And
this
after
time?
that shit happens, we go, how are you still walking?
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, to me, this was a crazy spot, but it was one of the more safer ones I feel like we've seen them go to. Like it still got high risk, but like you said, Brody ended up staying there, so you know what I
But
mean?
just just like I said, just back to what I said, just Brody and Darby together.
Magic.
That yeah, it's magic, it's money, it's special. Like that again, like they say, styles make fights. A big man versus a giant versus a smaller guy. It's always going to be money, and then those two just happen to be right inside the same wheelhouse. So it could be a regular plain Jane one-on one. You can make it a no rules match, and Jim Prince puts it a lazy booking match. Those two are still gonna put on some magic, and I got to tip my hat to you for realizing that match. Like, hey, I got something I can always go back to. It's always gonna be money.
Yeah, man. And again, I know I said earlier tonight, I don't want to sound like a contradiction. I didn't understand why these two gentlemen were facing off. But when they had their match,
So
I was still intrigued. I was like,
and like you and I touched on privately, it came up as one of those just because matches. But I guess as Shivani touched on throughout the whole match, Darby had been telling him like that whole the last couple weeks, I've never beaten you one on one just straight up. We need to run it. We need to run it. And man to man, Bird's like, all right, let's run it. Then even back to that handshake afterwards, like, hey, you're a crazy son of a bitch. I have all the love and respect for you. Whenever you want to throw down, you know where to find me.
nah, it's definitely a dope moment for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they put on. But the next match that I felt like should have been on the pay per view was this hologram and El Torito match, the Beast
Hold
Mortals, man.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. What was the exact name? Who did you say was this match initially?
Sin Cara versus El Torito. This is who they giving me vibes of. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't know too much about hologram. Like I'm tired of
So,
people wearing masks and not talking. Cause one, we gotta establish like they gotta be something established. Like Rey Mysterio Jr. When I was introduced to Rey Mysterio Jr., I knew Luchador. Some of these guys, like, okay, we got Axiom. I've said this about Axiom too. You just the fucking dude with the mask, bro. Like, where's the
but he
like?
talks.
But he talks. At least you're giving me that,
So you know what's funny about hologram? He didn't start wearing a mask till he got to AEW.
man. That's special. That's crazy.
And now again, I see some work in Mexico. He did some stuff for MLW and Pro Sino as well. A talented young man. I think he just turned 23 or going on 24. Somebody. He's a young bull, a young cat. But again, now again, respects man to man. He's got a very marketable face, much like Kyle Fletcher. Like again, you can make some money off this dude if you do it right. But like you said, the mask stuff and all that, I get it. You're trying to sell merchandise, cool. But you want to show off that face or something, make some money, get some pretty ladies in this to fill the empty seats you got.
Man, it's just that
I mean, shit. I don't know if you've been to a W show lately. Most of the crew are women just there to see Roman Reigns.
facts. Bando, salute, Bando.
And
Appreciate you, brother.
what's good?
Man. Cause I don't even like DNA wrestling event tomorrow. Shout out to DNA, man. Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. That shit gonna be lit. That Razor, that's when they get the battling and they all go with the wrestling bars. Ooh
Uh-huh.
wee. It's gonna be crazy. But like this hologram, like, all right, if it was hologram, if you're telling me, first off, hold on, let me just get, I just want to get into my old school wrestling bag for a second. I want to see,
Don't hold back.
yeah, I want to see the division. What do I mean by the division? I want to see first that you're the best luchador. So what I want to see you with other luchadors what before I put you now today that could have been an exhibition with the Beast Mortals, but I mean like more familiar stars. Like you got to give me people that have been coming up. Like I don't know what's a good. I mean Penta and Ray they're in a weird spot right now, but I guess if they weren't, that
Oh
would
no, no. Anyways, well, we know exactly where they're
yeah.
gonna be by this time next year, or end of this year.
What happened to Fuego del Rey, the other fan favorite? Why wouldn't you
Well,
want to? You like
what
having
happened
weird
to him?
bookings? right?
I heard some. I don't know, the cat or lady just scream out. I got the window open as you can tell, but yeah,
Yeah, like what happened to this Fuego guy, the one that put on a good match with Cody that one time?
he's friends with Sammy Guevara, who's probably still on timeout.
Another one that
Oh
could
no, Sammy's hurt again.
oh man.
Yeah, he was at a Ring of Honor taping and he took a move off the top rope, knocked out cold.
Yeah, like
Ow,
give
out cold.
that. Oh yeah, we was talking about that. About yeah.
Mhm.
Yup, he got slapped at that shit. Like, give me Hologram versus Rouge. I would have,
No. Rouge will embarrass that kid
and that's what I'm saying. We got to dead this undefeated streak. Why are we doing this? Why we got him 15-0? Why are we doing this undefeated shit again in
because Goldberg
2024?
got to 173. They're at the top everything that had to do with WCW.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If somebody's gonna come in with the fucking like a undefeated streak, I need them to have the size of a Brock Lesnar, maybe Will
Or
Hobbs,
not
whatever.
even that. Just
Like,
again, like I said with just aforementioned guys, look camera ready.
thank you, charisma, sell me.
Now I will say this. Prior to AEW, TNA was doing some money stuff with PCO and Black Taurus, now known as the Beast Mortals. Scott D'Amore was cooking with Black Taurus before he went to AEW.
This shit very well felt like a main event match from like that you would see on WWE. Maybe like a Sunday Night Heat, a Velocity, Rampage. So it wouldn't be to
No,
me
no, no. This wasn't even the main event to that.
like it just didn't
Th-
have a
This
place
this
on Wrestle Dream to
this
me.
this would have been the current jerk for that. Again, like I said, I would have rather seen Rico make his wrestling return. I would have rather seen that very interesting 8-man featuring the Outrunners. I would have rather seen Brian Cage being crowned Ring of Honor TV champion instead of that match. But said that was delegated to the pre-show. You had the Ring of Honor World title. Why not the TV title on the pay-per-view?
Man,
But no, we got to add a random 2 out of 3 falls match that was announced on Twitter 2 days before that segment happened on Rampage last fucking night.
what the fuck they need the two
Make
out
it
of
make
three falls
sense.
for?
So 2 out of 3 falls is the traditional match, one-on-one match in a lucha match.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Like that match was announced for the pay-per-view 2 days before they had made the match on Rampage, which was last night. How the fuck does that happen? How, Sway? Make it make sense, please. You didn't think we was gonna notice? No. My third eye is alive and well. We see everything.
Again, the match did nothing for me. It didn't make me want to see
If
hologram anymore any
if
less.
the match was about 7 to 10 minutes less than what it was, it would have been just fine. Because again, hologram is impressive. I'm gonna call him Aramis. That's what I know him as. Aramis is impressive. Toros, Mortis, whatever you want to call him, he can do some shit too. But again, it's just the way they're doing shit. You're not benefiting them. It's like you're just Tony Khan is deep in whatever he's into, and just throwing shit at the wall. This could have been something that could have put asses in seats
This is what I'm saying exactly, right? So
because
if you
because
telling
Mortos
me,
Mortos he's kind of catching that way similar to Orange Cassidy got in the early days of AEW, to where he's gaining some massive popularity rather quickly.
and that's what I'm about to say, I need to see more of him, right? Like, or familiarize me with him more. Felt like they just went into this. No, like I would prefer a more video package on him. Like, obviously, hologram's been the talk of Twitter. The people love him. Give me something about
And,
his
and, and Mortos has been featured mostly on Ring of Honor. And we've seen how Tony's treated Ring of Honor over the few years, which is why they're not part of the rights deal because Tony Khan just got them for the sake of fucking buying them. If Ring of Honor was anywhere else, they'd be competing with AEW as we speak. And I'm dead serious about that.
And I promise you, I feel
You,
like
you
it was
wouldn't
only
you
done
wouldn't
because of
have
that
Mark
one move.
Briscoe, you wouldn't have Athena, you wouldn't have probably 40% of your roster.
Man, give me 1 second, but I'm listening. Just need to
You
grab
good?
a tissue for my nose, chat. Let's get it though.
Don't cry. It's gonna be okay. No, no, but seriously, like again, like let me go on Ring of Honor for a little bit because I'm actually saddened at the fact that they weren't listed on this rights deal because again, one of the Ring of Honor against when WWE was in this little slump when Vince was on this bullshit in the early 2000s. I was primarily watching TNA, but also I stumbled across something known as Ring of Honor Wrestling. One of the first things I saw on Ring of Honor Wrestling, which is segue to another match that I thought was one of the better matches on the card, but back to what I was saying. The first thing I saw on Ring of Honor TV was a promo by two gentlemen by the name of Mark and Jay Briscoe, Briscoe brothers. So Ring of Honor holds a special place in my heart, just TNA does, because these two, when there was nothing else, these were the actual competitors to WWE, even though they were on a smaller independent level. Ring of Honor had guys like Amazing Red, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, CM Punk. Your favorite wrestler, essentially,
The original
has some shit.
alternative.
Has some shit in Ring of Honor. Even gentlemen like Kurt Angle, Cody Rhodes. Back in the day, Eddie Guerrero was on the early Ring of Honor stuff. But so for them to be in the position they're in now, I'm sad about that because that is a promotion that didn't deserve to go out the way it's going out. They got fucked by the pandemic. They're getting fucked by Tony Khan, and they should be thriving right now. They would be thriving right now.
And it's such a shame too because I feel like I'm probably in a different loop from what I remember, but ROH was like that aside from a OVW, but ROH was kind of like that crop was special. And it seems like maybe MLW, you got GCW, but it's hard again what we was talking about with NXT, the black and gold. It's hard to recapture that. It's gonna be hard to recapture a ROH feel and to see it like slowly dying. It's crazy. It's actually like you said, it's a bit sad to watch.
And like I said, you still would have had Athena. You still would have had a Mark Briscoe. I honestly would have assumed that New Japan would have kept a partnership with Ring of Honor instead of going to AEW. So you still got to have their as they call it, the best of the world or whatever battle. There's a series of pay-per-views dedicated to Ring of Honor and New Japan joining forces. But again, that the guys that were signed to Ring of Honor before they got bought out by Tony Khan, they were busting their ass to get Ring of Honor back to the days of old or something pretty damn close. And I felt like they were making positive traction, and then out of the blue, it stopped.
I feel like the second you put former WWE superstars as the champions of ROH, kind of it set a bad tone. At least for me, like,
But
eh, and then the
aside
way
from
they did
Cody
grid,
Rhodes
the way
and
they did.
or maybe no, aside from Cody Rhodes, I don't think there was no former WWE guys as champion at the
It was
time of them being with Ring of
Claudio,
Honor.
No, I know
Oh,
what you mean.
I'm talking before AEW got him.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. No, yeah. For me, I'm talking like when AEW got him, that Tony Khan
Now,
hands on.
now again,
Yeah,
I again had Ring of Honor still been around. I believe that Brian Danielson, Claudio, they probably would have went to Ring of Honor because again, that's where they got their North American exposure. They would have gone there. Many of these guys that have gone to AEW, I believe, would have gone to Ring of Honor.
no,
Swerve would have gone there. Brian would have gone there. Clyde would have gone there. Jay White already has some. That's where his excursion was.
Hell
Juice
yeah.
Robinson.
Like you
That's
just
where
mentioned
he kind of got his
Cody.
North America stuff.
You even mentioned all everybody would have went there, bro. Cut their teeth, earned their stripes here, Japan.
Cody probably would have got Ring of Honor to work with WWE.
I mean, and even so, look at the. I mean, I can't say one is related or not. So my brother, I see you out there, man. I appreciate you, King. Yes, sir. Um, I don't know if one is related, but like I was saying about Grisham, he kind of went out with AEW on a salty note, and then we see the working relationships Jordan Grace and TNA's having, and we might see, you know what I mean, him on a crossover event.
If you, I'm telling you right now, if you get me Jonathan Gresham versus Pete Dunne, I will have a Dave Meltzer like style wet dream on camera. I'm dead ass. Like
And you know why it doesn't hurt
you get
NXT?
Mark Briscoe or even potentially have that like Jay Briscoe on WWE television.
And you know why it doesn't hurt NXT? And this is me just being calling it how I feel it is. AEW's positioning themselves to be number one here. So when you're doing business and you're kind of like running rampant, like, okay, ROH is, you're definitely, whatever all y'all did, y'all definitely under us now. And then two, the working relationship y'all was doing with TNA, it was almost feeling one sided, almost like y'all had their
Because Tony
championship.
Khan thought he was Vince McMahon. It's
And for
exactly what it is.
and for NXT,
To-
like you said,
Over
TNA.
like once Cody and Punk left, or even when Cody left, Vince McMahon or Tony Khan became the very thing he was fighting against.
Man, again,
Look what
holding
we're
people
seeing
to
now
their
with
contracts.
Phoenix being put on injury time.
He said he'll never do hold people to their contracts. He said if they want to go, they'll go. We already seen that. Like it was capped. It
Phoenix
was
being held
defined.
back. Who else being held back?
I mean,
Probably probably Buddy,
I mean,
Miro. You could probably list half the at least 30% of the roster by name.
and at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it's written into their contract that they can't ask for a public release or something. That's
I
why
bet
some
you it's in there
guys.
now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, and some people
But
backtrack on
but
what they say.
that's why Bully said, talent, read your contract.
It was a bit bizarre with the Aleister Black situation when he looking like he wanted to get out from AEW and somehow they kind of zipped him back in.
Or remember, Andrade put hands on Sammy Guevara because he's trying to get out so bad.
Him and CM Punk knew what they had to do. You got to shake the
No, no,
room.
but Andrade was before all that. Andrade
Yeah,
I just snaked him in hopes to get fired, and no,
still.
that didn't happen.
Yep. Nah, you're absolutely right. It's like, again, and I'm not saying that's the right thing, but like, it's sometimes it's like, yo, you got me working with people that's dickheads, and I'm not to say better than it, but these are established superstars. Like, these are dudes you
It-
paid to come over here to be on your television, and you got them in the backstage area, wasting
but
their good years doing what? Cocking off. Because
it,
now what Andrade's doing with Carmelo, he hasn't even. First off, the guy's still the speed champion that I know of, so he's holding on to some kind of. We want to have so many championships in wrestling. Fuck it, he got a championship too.
but he's in a borderline a marquee segment on SmackDown,
Yep,
and now we're throwing in Santos in that mix too.
they've definitely been a staple of. I want to say a third of SmackDown storylines. You got the Bloodline as the other third, and then the Nia Jax stuff with Tiffy.
But like, yeah, and what would he have done in AEW? Stay home wherever him and Charlotte are living. He's just in the gym. He's whining and dining Charlotte and Ric Flair, just saying, "Hey, Tony's paying for all this, so get whatever you want."
My thing with factions. these days is that if you're gonna pull the trigger on a faction, you gotta have them really be dominant, or whatever other factions are around. They're just gonna look foolish because you're not the
So,
most dominant faction.
with that being said, shall we segue into the segment before the final matches, or shall we segue into the trade within factions that happened at AEW this past week?
Well, get into that because I'm not really aware of the trade within the factions. You got to keep me up.
So,
You got to smarten me up on that.
again, on this past Dynamite, there was a trade made between the Don Callis family and La Facción Ingobernable, and apparently there was a little sidebar trade. So, long story short, Jake the Snake Roberts is now managing Roosh, the Beast Mortos, and I think Commander.
What the fuck?
And Lance Archer is now part of the Don Callis family.
Jake,
Jake don't speak a lick of Spanish.
Go sign that Legends deal, man. Go sign that Legends deal, bro.
Now Jake
Yo,
got history in Mexico, I'll give him that, but
Lance, go take that NXT deal, bro.
take your ass back to Japan, Lance.
Something, bro. We could use the Lance Archer versus Obafemi. That'd be crazy.
Bro, I will buy floor seats to that match when it happens.
What?
I will buy floor seats. I'll buy your ass one too. As God is
Man,
my
bro.
witness. If
That'd
it
be crazy.
happens, when that match is announced, I will buy us floor seats
We need to see it.
in front
Cause
of the hard
Lance,
cam, so we will
bro,
be on camera.
that'd be a perfect show out match right for Lance. Just come through and you never see nobody wreck Oba like
Oh,
this.
oh no! I'm telling you, right, like with what Lance Archer can do, and with Oba Fenn's potential, that match would be special. That would be special.
Two big fellas just lifting each other up.
Two
No regard.
athletic big felt, two
Man.
athletic fucks.
Yeah, those dudes are hybrids. Like these ain't just tall dudes that
Yeah.
can't move. These are fucking hybrids. The athleticism, the hard hits. Shit, you want to flip or two? They got those for you too, man. Cause
No, but again, but Lance, seriously, like either go to Triple H or take your ass back to Japan, please.
I'm not even gonna lie. They should have really let him be like feud with Swerve Strickland too. Like that little stuff he was doing on social media, getting the grills, or like I don't know what Lance was doing, having fun. But I had fun with him, whatever he was doing. I'm like, hold on, charisma. He showing charisma.
You got to see his Mini Hawk stories on IG. So he,
Mm,
he got he got a little toy of him that he calls Mini Hawk, and he'll customize it with whatever the fuck he's doing for that day or for that show.
nah, that's fire. No story, like little vibe. How come
But
one not
again,
like we got Matt Cardona with the wrestling, you know what I'm saying? Major Wrestling Figure Podcast.
but
Shout out to them. Like this is an avenue for
as
all of us.
talented as Archer is, especially with the Biggie, is like, how do you not have anything for him? You put him with Jake Roberts, cool. What'd you do with him? Nothing. Less than nothing. You were better off letting Tanahashi have him and Jake Roberts. Those two would have been absolute money, like box office in Japan.
And then you know what it is for me. I'm gonna be honest. Jake Roberts is so methodical. I don't think a 2024 young audience is ready for that. Or like people that's really not. And I know the AEW fans are very smart, but it's a slow, methodical.
Well,
He's gonna get into like talking slow and low. He
I
just
think
cut promos a certain
I-
way.
his style does still have a place in 2024 and 2025 only because no one cuts a promo like Jake the Snake Roberts. I
But
don't give a damn who you are. No one
it
has the
would be better in
presentation.
W.
No
It
one
would be
has the
better in
cadence.
WWE.
No one has the tone and the voice. No one can talk like Jake the Snake Roberts.
Under WWE's audio production, it'll sound way much better. Camera work,
Could, could,
everything,
could,
production.
could you have imagined some back and forth between Jake Roberts and Bo or Bray? Can you imagine just those back and forths? Can you
Paul
imagine back
Ellering.
and forth between? Jake versus Paul.
Archer versus Cross. We cooking, chat.
Cause remember, Arthur, he nice on the mic too.
We cooking. Come on. Like,
Can you imagine Archer cutting a promo on a KO, on a Cody, on a Seth,
he'll
Paul Ellering
he'll very
getting
much
cut on
be
by
able to
Jake?
tell. He'll very much be able to tell the story that Jacob really can't. You know how they don't got Jacob Fatu speaking at the moment. He can very much.
I'll do you one better. You know who you throw in with Lance Archer and Jake Roberts? Drew McIntyre.
That'd be different.
Two two big folks that can talk and work, and you have one of the best promos of all time leading the charge, who can think just as nasty as them. And Tony Khan knows that can happen at any point in time, which is why anytime the contracts are for the most part, he
Like
just
I
begs
said,
them
he's
out to
not.
go.
Yeah, he's not letting these dudes walk. He
But
realistically not using them, but he not letting these dudes walk.
allegedly, in about 19 days, 20 days, he could be losing Maria and Mike Kanellis.
Look at what just being on Monday Night Raw did for Ethan Page. Like it already got people prospecting him versus CM Punk, something that could have happened in AEW.
You got Trick Williams on SmackDown.
Think about that. People want to
Dominant,
now, yeah.
dominant been on SmackDown in 5.5, 6 years. When was the last time you seen a Rhea on SmackDown?
It's been a while.
Look at the magic that Randy Orton and the young OG, the future face of WWE, Devon Evans had, with the exception of that RKO segment. But again, he's a young boy. He'll learn eventually. He got the adrenaline going. Got a little too big for his britches, what the OGs would say. But again, aside from that one spot, that match is beautiful.
The future's bright, man.
And like I said, you got Sexy Red outdrawn 3 shows in 7 days, in 5 days.
I mean, unpopular. She does have a fan base that she brings along with her.
I'm just and folks who argue, oh, they had the main roster, they had Randy there, they had Jey Uso there. Okay, we see the Young Bucks on Rampage and Collision all the time. We see
Um,
Kenny Omega on Rampage and Collision all the time.
to Salamonster's point, I don't know the exact numbers, but when they had John Cena last year, whenever the year Cena was on the NXT
When they when they
episode,
have when they have Cena and Taker,
yep, and AEW bragged that they beat them in the numbers.
Cena and Taker were the lower segments. I remember that. Cena was the lower segment of that show.
NFL fans, E Money, man, what's the word, man? E Money, I see you out there, man. What you repping the Philadelphia Eagles? What you got, an Eagle jersey? Yes, sir, man.
That's
Shout out to the Eagles, man. Shout out to Philly. So, what you want to talk some NFL? We could dive in and throw a little
I
seggy in
got
there
a
real
lot
quick.
to say about the NFL. That's the top of that. Again, I got a lot to say about a lot of things right now. Let me. Ugh.
Right? Like, I'm over here, Birdman hand rub. Some respect, all three of y'all.
If I had more face over here, I'd hit the little Red Lewis little scroll dance too.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah,
but hmm
but as we go back to the Russell Dream, where Tony Khan stated we would fall in love with wrestling all over again. Um, we let's go to one of my more honestly. Even though certain people were involved in this match, in my opinion, it was one of the more stronger matches on the night, and that was the match between Jericho and Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Title.
yeet. Yes, sir. Yeet. Jericho and Briscoe.
Because again, yes, it was the co-main. However, this was the only match on the card where I feel like they actually dove into the story behind this match. Because behind this match, Jericho was talking some serious shit, stating, "You could never beat me. Your brother probably could have beat me, but you're not your brother." Now, as you and I both know growing up, thou shalt not speak ill of the dead. So there was a lot of personal things going into this match, and this match is probably one of Jericho's best matches in AEW in some time, maybe in the last few years.
I was
Bell to
surprised.
bell, this match was incredible. Also, you also had Big Bill the Redwood had some mint green Timberlands on. That was a decision to make.
Man.
I know they came in that color.
Yeah.
You had the Bad Apple doing his normal bullshit, but also you had Orange Cassidy beat up Big Bill. You had Rocky Romero beat up what's his name, Brian Keys or whatever. Is that his name?
Yeah, dude with the braids, right?
Yeah.
Yup.
But aside from that, bell to bell, it was an incredible match. From Briscoe going from the Froggy Bow into the Code Breaker to Jericho hitting the Jay Driller and Briscoe kicking out at 1 1/10 because he felt insulted that you gonna try to take me with my brother's move.
Crazy.
You got the nerve to do that to me, and again, like I said before, like if this is honestly the how Ring of Honor is gonna go out, it's only fitting that Mark Briscoe, one half of the 13-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, goes out on top.
Nah, it was definitely. I had concerns going into this. I was like, I really don't hope Jericho go. Like, if Jericho goes over, he's like, I'd be surprised if the fans didn't throw shit in the ring. Like,
They would have rioted. I mean, they were starting to throw shit towards the end of the what happened after the main event, but yeah, that crowd would there was already close halfway already
yeah.
because
So
they had to sit through some bullshit today.
I had concerns during that match, and then I felt like
Well,
the right person went over. The right story
they
was told.
they definitely made the right audible.
Yeah, because things could have got real. Like, where they was at in Washington today.
Tacoma, Washington,
Yeah, the crowd could have went either way, but like you said, they started throwing some things. So it was the end of the the last main event right there.
because they crapped on the Young Bucks match. They crapped on basically what during the Shibata Jungle Boy match. They were happy for the triple threat, which we'll get into in a little bit, and they absolutely hated what happened after the main event.
That's what we're gonna have to bring a new segment out called SOS. Same
Don't tell me with a good
old
time.
shit.
You not don't you tell me with a good time.
That's what the crowd, the fans must be tired of the SOS, the same old shit.
You
It
remember
must
Jericho
be.
bust out the list against Lance Storm? I don't know how
Yep,
one of them bitches come Monday.
yep. That motherfucking list was long as shit. We went the commercial break. He came back. He was still naming moves.
I'm gonna have more of them bitches. Best believe.
Yeah, bro. Cause I mean, I feel like watching the Bucks match. I knew who. I felt like I knew who was gonna win. I was like, man, it'd be cool if they give Private Party to win, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
We knew. We knew.
Down to the Takesha match. We
No,
said it.
no, that
If he don't get it, some things might be, and they gave us a little different route here, so we was happy there. There was some things to be hopeful for. Jay White, there was some things that, now I didn't care who he's in the ring with, but he's in his singles bag. I like that they give him the look.
well, but also with the Hangman and Jay White, if we're going back to the stuff in New Japan or and Ring of Honor, Hangman's only beat him once, maybe twice in almost 10 years.
So again, you feel like you already knew that shit going. Yeah,
I was hopeful Jay would maintain said dominance when she did. I was if it was a match I was confident in and who's gonna win, it was that opening match. But also another match that again that the other match that was my contender match of the night, which was that very entertaining triple threat match for the international championship.
Nah, the match was fire. I just didn't like the moment you called. When did you call this on Monday? Was it Monday? I think you called this
It-
shit
it-
Monday, bro.
yeah,
After
Monday while we're
Raw.
on the phone.
Yeah. Like to the T.
But again, aside from that, the match was incredible. Ricochet took some shit licks, Osprey as well. Takeshi went a full blown Debo mode. I was entertained by all of that. Then we got to the sloppy shit, which again, as I foreshadowed step by step, we got Kyle Fletcher coming out. But what had me weak was you had Shivani going, "Who is that? Who is that?"
He
And
trying to
this
get his JR on.
we see his face right there. You're looking at his face right now. You can't tell me you don't know who that is. So Kyle, maybe wear a bandana next time. Maybe get yourself a little shiesty mask, something. I mean, not many folks are that are 6'5", 6'6", but still, like, get a little something, something.
I'm gonna be honest. They kind of made things a little too predictable here when you got Don Callis come out. It reminded me of Kyle Fletcher. I didn't need to be reminded of Kyle Fletcher. I didn't need to be reminded of what they did with the screwdriver. None of that shit. I'd have been perfectly fine thinking, oh, so nobody's really gonna come out for this match, and then we get Callis and Fletcher. I don't need to see Callis getting a move done to him. None of this shit.
Now, what's their December show called? World's End or something like that?
I don't know. I know the Full Gear is the next one that you was telling me.
Yeah, full years in 6 weeks, but whatever show they have between December and January, probably the show they have near the Rumble. As much as it pains me to say, it's likely going to be Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita versus Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega
I thought you was gonna tell me Ricky O'Shea. Okay.
because they've been teasing Kenny lately. Don Callis and Ospreay especially, because Callis said in the past promo, "You say you're the best in the world." Well, guess what? I used to manage the best when I kicked into the curb.
Okay. I
You
see
say the
that.
best in the world. You ain't with me no more. They touched on it today earlier during the match where they said, or I don't know, Shivani or Nigel, or no, Shivani or Scott, one of them touched told Callis, say, you said you managed best one Omega, and he's no longer with you. And then Callis said, well, I was kind of right about him, wasn't I? So, again, if the plan is going to be for Kyle and Takeshita versus Osprey and Omega, I guess if done right, that could work because those four could put on something special, in my opinion. Where I would have issues is, say you have Fletcher's tag team partner and Mark Davis come back from his knee injury. You almost have to bring back Kota Ibushi, but Ibushi don't go anywhere unless Omega's already there. Now, is Tony Khan going to pay that bill if no one's going to be interested in it? Is the question. Because on paper, that might be a match right there. You might have some of those six men right there if done right. And then on top of that, you have two more tag teams between the Golden Lovers of Omega and Ibushi, and Ozzy Open and Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, I could see that though. I could very much see that. And I'm be honest, you the AEW guy. You know more
No,
about
I'm
them
not.
than I do.
No,
No, no, I'm saying
just
because
because I take notes, it don't mean I'm the guy.
nah, yeah, you know about Tony's movements more than I do. You've been
He's
able to study
predictable.
him. Yeah, you've been able to study the guy more, and you know more about these international rosters and stuff. So you definitely see where the landscape is going with him. And I give you the flowers for that. Cause again, this Fletcher shit, I seen it that day with the hesitation on the title Tuesday, whatever the fuck they was doing. I seen it. I seen the writing on the wall. But the way you called it though, to the fact that he even bring the fucking screwdriver that day.
Read him like a fucking book.
Crazy.
Because again, sometimes these simple things are what's best for business.
They had to sell that moment a little bit more too. I didn't really like how like it was something about
Yeah,
it that
they're
felt a
kind of
little
fucked up with that part.
yeah, it was something felt a little weird. Like he's kind of like
Because
saying
if I'm Osprey, I'm on the knee, I'm on the knees, face down, whatever, hold my head, come up. I realize Fletcher snuck me with it. Then Takeshita takes him out with the knee.
it was just
That's how
yeah.
that would have made it a much cleaner finish. Instead of Osprey staring at him, he wants to stare at Takeshita, put the knee down. Then he registers the back of the head.
Yeah, the moment just felt a little odd. You know what I mean? For me, I was just like, he could have sold it a little bit better the moment. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was the camera work. Something just felt odd. I was just like, yeah, but I mean, you seen that
It's
happening and
called
I
G
bought
League.
into it. Yeah, I bought into it. I think one moment we ain't talk about, but I think you wanted to get there. I'm not sure you was talking about this, but the Prince Nana swerve,
Oh yeah. We have not got into that yet.
man, lead the charge because
Hold
I mean
on, wait.
he's yeah. Swerve said some funny shit there. I'm not gonna lie. I was surprised he said what he said to Nana.
No, fuck. Let me take all to the head.
But it was funny what he said, but how deep he went with it, and then what he said also, I don't turn on my family for nothing.
Okay, I'm ready. So first off, again, this segment alone was arguably the high point of the entire show. Rightfully so. You have a lot going on in the segment. Prince Nana do a little thing, whatever. Swerve comes out, gets properly introduced, looking very dapper, if I must say. Boy, it's dripped out. Swerve got style.
Nah, he do it. I ain't gonna lie, like boy, it's fly.
Talks about his medical status. He is cleared. I'm not sure how, but he's cleared. Then we get the and know what that reminds me of? Excuse me.
Big facts.
MVP comes out, touches on the history from Defy, touches on their brief history with Lucha Underground, saying they go way back, whatever. They got history. Once again, teased. You can go beat down Clan. You can go hurt business, hurt syndicate, whatever you want to call it. Teasing that to us. Swerve trying to say, yeah, we go way back. I feel you. You showed me a lot. Now, Nana, a lot of what he said was true. Not gonna lie. And as you put, he painted the picture of, there's some stuff that I don't really find that don't sit right with me as you do. So we the high school kids. Still do this, that, and the third. But you family. And I don't know about you, but when he uttered those words, that kind of hit me a little bit. Like, okay, he's speaking from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because any rap man would know that, again, if family's doing right by you, like he even said, yeah, I lost the title on your watch. I lost the cage match on your watch, but I wouldn't have that without you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through this little rough patch, little bump in the hill. I'm not turning my back on family. And then we get the money shot. And who's in said money shot? Swerve Strickland and his idol, in my opinion, one of the most underrated wrestlers of the last 30 years. The gold standard, one half of the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin. Tony, you better do right by that program right there. You better do right by them. Because
They
they
go
if
crazy.
you let them get in their bag, respectively, they will tear the fucking house down.
It'll be a chance for Shelton to get one last run too that he never, I feel like, got on the real main stage. We've seen him win the Intercontinental Championship, like you said, half of the greatest tag team championships that came at a young, early age. And in this more modern era, the pandemic has happened. He's been part of the Hurt business, but outside of that, the last few years we got from him, I want to see.
Outside of that, he's been winning gold all over the world.
Again, though, like I would like to see it right here on the main stage. If AEW's number 2 to WWE number 1, we got, like you said, Tony got to do right by him.
And then what I noticed was Swerve was putting emphasis on what the impact that Shelton has on African American professional wrestlers, rightfully so. Because when this man took the scene back in the day, 20 years ago, he took WWE by storm. He beat Triple H twice back to back Monday Night Raws in the era where Triple H was untouchable. To the point to where, yeah, Charlie Haas on SmackDown telling Kurt Angle, he was GM, hey, why can't I get a look? Why shouldn't I get all the love? And Kurt had to tell him on camera. He beat Triple H on Raw, clean in the ring. So again, Shelton, when he first throughout his career, has always been special, always been extraordinary. Tony, he sided with you for a reason. He's here to help. Do right by him by letting him get Swerve to that promised land. Let him do right by getting others to said promised land. Let him do his shit. Now for the elephant in the room, let's see what happens with Bobby Lashley.
I'm be honest, I feel like we know as fans he's going. The writing's almost on the wall. Like if he doesn't go, I'd say that'd be more of a okay. You just do it
Because
like,
he did announce he has a boxing match coming up, an exhibition coming up.
and then right now, I mean, what does he really do? He can either take this spotlight with AEW and take it for what it is, or go back to WWE and just chill out with whatever they got going for him. He got options, so. But I think the writing's on the wall. If he really wants to do that,
You're forgetting one big option.
talk to me. The TNA option,
He got history there,
yeah.
and one man has been calling him out for months. Moose. Moose has been craving that run back for a minute.
And TNA could really benefit from his star power too. Like
Moose coming at
AEW,
him like, I ain't a kid no more. I'm grown. I want the smoke. I want the fade.
no, very much so, for real. I just think it was surprising to me. Like I'm gonna be honest, if Bobby Lashley, the Almighty Bobby Lashley, pops up on a Wednesday episode in a backstage segment, just like Shelton did,
Now,
I might be a little pissed.
I honestly wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, now granted, yes, it's another WWE guy going there. But again, if I'm Tony, especially getting embarrassed by the numbers last week, I better be looking for all help that I can get. Anyone that still wants the help, I'm sitting down, crisscross applesauce, hands like this, is ears out, an open book. Because in 3 years, Warner Brothers closes contract. I'm on borrowed time right now. Yes, this is my hobby. Yes, I'm putting this regardless. But let's say in a year, 2 years time, Daddy can say, you know what? I'm making the move. You're tapped out, so no more money for you. What you got left is what you got left. That's a very realistic possibility for him right now. At least a possibility he should consider.
Yeah, I think he need to let all of these dudes that's really not on the full time contract that they just popping in.
And let's be honest. As much shit as guys like Bischoff and Cornette talk, or not Cornette, Bully talk, they still want to help. They want to see you thrive because if there's more money going out for the boys and girls, that's what's best for the industry.
Everybody eats,
Yep.
even us
Look,
here.
look yeah, that means we can create more content and hopefully Dave LaGreca and Sirius XM can add us to the Busted Open family. I said they want a 24/7 crew. Hey, you got two cats right here. We will be available anytime, any place, anywhere.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the 42 out there, man. We got 42 people want to hear us talk about AEW, man. So we're not here to bring y'all down or destroy y'all. We just here to just tell y'all, like the title says, hits and misses, so that y'all can get better
Y'all
and
are too
continue to be
kind
great.
for dealing with me and my bullshit.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's the thing too, that again, if you taking it the criticism as meant to destroy, that's something you have to self-analyze. We just kicking it how it is.
We
I'm
are
a
of
little
the era
nicer.
when we're growing up. Any criticism, whatever, we're trying to build you. We're trying to thicken that skin. We want you to succeed because if you succeed, we succeed. And if you're pushing that envelope, pushing that bar, trying to elevate yourselves, that means what we get to enjoy is more enjoyable. We're still
Big
going to
fact.
talk our shit, but it's gonna be it's gonna be incredible to watch. We want you to struggle to pick you guys apart. We want you to struggle to find out, hey, what was better? What was this? What was that?
And I'm not gonna lie, just a little detail might be far left shit, but WWE barricades. I've never seen no barricades like that. Everybody just
What the
use rails,
what? Well, I think those are LEDs now,
right? But no,
or
even the soft portion of the where the fans sit. Now I know which part you talk about. They got the LEDs there, and then the one that they break through, right? The one that they break through in that little
where they had
corner.
the little opening by the bell.
Yeah, by Samantha Urban and stuff over there.
Yeah,
That's WWE going above and beyond construction, like they really put the money into like everything, bro. It's crazy. The construction of how their set is gonna be going forward, changing the landscape of
because
how spots are done in their wrestling.
whether they're moving shit off of the ring, whether they're trying to get folks in and out, it's all got to be smooth as silk.
Even look, another attention to detail. Like you said, the LED barricade. They got LED turnbuckles, which now allows for some of the wrestlers to actually go up to that surface and probably jump
It,
off a little cleaner
it's a flatter surface.
rather than the round turnbuckle that we've seen over the years.
Hmm. And then you just put the pyro on the side, so it's not in the way. So if you step on an accident, you ain't gonna break it.
Like I forgot who it was that took that spot flying over the turnbuckle today. I think it was Takeshka when he went flying, or it might
Yep.
have been. It wasn't Takeshka when he went
Hmm.
flying over into the corner. I was like, damn, he almost hit the turnbuckle for real. Like,
Because he does that shit like that Jacob does on SmackDown, where you think he's gonna jump over the fucking turnbuckle and bust his shit.
yeah. And I'm like, damn, that's not a turnbuckle you might want to play with right there.
I mean, we saw what happened with Cesaro almost 10 years ago. We lost his fucking front teeth.
And that was even on the newest set that we talking about, that Flatter
Yeah,
set. So it even happens on that shit. Like they got it, you know what I'm saying? So just a little attention to detail could even change the spots in the wrestling itself. Again, WWE have different spots, unique spots. You could try to replicate that spot with regular guardrails in traditional wrestling, but you're gonna risk hurting your talent for what? You know what I'm saying?
for the moment,
For the
for the
moment.
sickos.
And this isn't ECW anymore. You ain't got to do that. Have some spots, but don't go too crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? If the feud calls for it, then it calls for it. If it's just a one off match,
Now,
you got
now you know that ain't their style.
it's not. But yeah, it's just the little things that again, you don't want to be a direct copycat, but when you've been in the business for so long, like WWE has, they kind of laid out the recipe. This is they got the recipe. You might not want to
Hmm.
go to the recipe, but it's there. It's kind of
Hey,
like when AEW did that dumb shit, right? They used to have the ramp that go to the ring. It was a somewhat cool idea. It was okay. It
it was different,
was different, but it limits shit. It makes shit look a little weird sometimes.
but also on the flip side, it's just another adjustment. Because remember, the early days of TNA, the six-sided ring,
Hmm.
it's just another adjustment.
Yep.
It's-
Sometimes you go through the things, you throw shit at the wall to see if it sticks. Then okay, this is the form. You can't fight the formula for now.
And other folks, okay, this is what we're working with. All right, cool. Let's make it work to my advantage.
Right. Just
I
like
got, I may got to think a little bit, but we gonna get there.
yeah. Cause I'm pretty sure just the dimensions of a ring being smaller than the WWE ring or bigger or whatever, it just makes for a different match and matches that you can have out there and stuff like that. It allows for more people in the ring, maybe less, depending on again dimensions.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, 'cause on that note, the ring for WrestleDream looked a little bit bigger than for WWE's PLE last week. It just looked bigger to me.
they could have been because of the Hell in a Cell.
Could have been, yeah, because again, WWE, they're trying to fit as many seats in the venue as possible, so they could be cutting back on shit just to add more seats. It's a possibility.
Instead of making it 20 by 20, you cut it down to 18.
Shit, they might have gone down to 16 or 12. Like I said,
12,
that ring looks smaller now.
12 would be crazy.
It could they could have dropped down to 16 to be honest. Because what boxing 10 or 12, probably 10 on
I don't know, to be honest.
probably yeah probably 10 by 10 for boxing. But yeah, but again, if they're shrinking down the ring to make more room for people, again, just more adjustments, like we said.
Yeah, AEW, man, it was some promise, and then I felt like the promise was lost with a lot of the shit I seen throughout the night. Like, how many matches on the card? We got one, two, three, four,
9,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we got
9,
nine.
9 on the main card, 3 on the pre-show.
One, two. I fucked with 3.5 matches.
So usually with the main card, at maximum, half of them are going to be really good. What was the three? What was the half one? The main event?
The half one to me was kind of the yeah, the main. It was either between the main event or the Darby and Brody match for me.
I enjoyed the Darby and Brody match. I enjoyed the Jericho Briscoe match. I enjoyed most of the Hangman uh, J match. And that I enjoyed the bulk of the main event.
And
And
the
then
half,
also
uh huh.
my half would have been the women's match, only because I wanted to see more out of Willow.
Okay. Yeah, the only reason I put a half is because I'm debating if it should be like a full. Yeah, I really enjoyed this or not, and then the rest I feel like just didn't have a place on the pay per view to begin with. To be honest,
Yeah, and that's the problem with the AEW pay-per-views because again, yes, it's 4 hours long, but half the matches there at least, or on average, you could just do without, but they're there just to be there because Tony has to fill 4 hours for a pay-per-view. That's why when he has these matches that are 10, 12 matches long, okay, half of them, yeah, they may be worthy of a rewatch. The other half, it's like, yeah, you can just fast forward those.
and I'm gonna be honest, the pace is kind of weird. Like, all right, hit me out here. If you're telling me, the kickoff show, this is what's supposed to sell me and bring me to watch the pay per view. You
The
gave me
op-
some,
the opening kickoff match was the Ring of Honor TV title match.
which I missed that one.
And
So
now that match wasn't too bad because I said we crowned a new TV champion in Brian Cage.
okay, nice, nice. No, I like him, so that's nice. I like to hear that for him. I caught the last two,
Yeah,
and
the other
even now
two
mentioning that should set the pace of what you will see tonight.
and and again the 3 matches on the pre-show could have easily just swapped out 3 of the matches on the main card, easily in my opinion.
I mean, Brian Cage, I would prefer him over Hologram and the Beast, to be honest.
I could have preferred the regular tag team with uh the Maxim Models and the Acclaimed. Hell, you could have put the 8 man that had the Outrunners in the last Zero match.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna be. I'm gonna be honest, not to sound too crazy or nothing, but if you really wanted to replace this match, the tag match, with that tag match, you could have, in my eyes. Like, I mean,
It was a better tag match. Why
better.
aren't why again nothing against Private Party, but why don't you have the Outrunners in this match?
Why aren't they getting a tag
Because
team?
because they're more popular than the Bucks or what? Let's
You
be
know
honest.
why? You know why? You know why? We can't have these dudes that just came out of nowhere. We was being nice, gave them a look. Now they running, like, not running shit, but like the crowd love them now. Nah, I'm screaming, yo.
I know you see it. Yeah, there it
Tony, Tony,
is.
man, Tony, Tony, we appreciate you, man.
Hopefully this is the real one. Oh, I hope
Tony,
this is the real one.
man,
But if it is a real one, you may not enjoy some of my past tweets if I'm gonna be honest. But I stand by what I said. I apologize for nothing.
Tony,
Oh
Tony.
damn, damn, this is funny.
Stay tuned for
Uh,
AEW Dynamite. We sure will. Again, the
The,
more
the,
that the
the
product
shows
is
don't
good,
have to be 4 hours long, Tony.
I just thought the pace was a little weird. I'd have switched some things around. Maybe not had again. If we're gonna just put people in there, I'd like to see some other people around. I'd like to see Lance Archer. I don't know if he's injured or not, but we'd like to get a nice Lance Archer sighting. Miro, if we still intend to use him, you know?
There's so many folks that could be used better. I mean, Julia Hart's back. What's she doing?
Hmm.
Jamie Hayter's back. What's she doing? Is Athena still the women's champion from Ring of Honor?
I'm not sure. I feel like I don't really get too much, and this is something that I wish WWE and AEW did with their smaller brands. Give us some like updates or something like,
Well,
or
WWE does it with their Twitter, but as far as Ring of Honor, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna pay for Honor Club for oh no for this rendition of Honor Club at least. I'll pay for the old school stuff, but this version of Honor Club, no, I refuse.
and I guess that's the
I'll
problem.
watch the pay-per-views, but no. You gotta have good pay-per-views to be invested in you long term. That's how I look at shit. Tony, if you're listening, I said what I said. Deal with it.
I'm not gonna lie, we keeping this up right here. I know you're not the real con, but you Tony Con.
It's so pretty damn funny.
It is, yeah, bro. It's the picture for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's very like I pulled the very best picture off Google type
They got the most photogenic picture that he's ever had.
for real. Like this is Sports Center esque right here. Like I feel like,
This is how you know this is a picture that was taken before Brawl Out.
oh man, when things are good.
Yeah, I mean, Cody just left, and he's like, no, we're still fine. We're still fine. We're gonna see how we do. We're gonna be okay. Type shit.
Overall, I'm be honest. Even though I felt like again, I like going into pay per views with no expectations, and this is no disrespect to AEW, but in my eyes, I no longer view them as a competitor to WWE. I don't care how much money's being dished around. I never really looked at them as, but when Vince was around, there was like a hold your breath moment. Like,
Like I said, Vince being removed from WWE was the worst thing that could have happened to WWE or to AEW because now that Vince is gone and DX is in charge of guns, D Generation X, the most anti Vince motherfuckers on walking the planet. Oh shit!
I can't take it serious. We truly appreciate your concern and passion for our wrestlers. It's always great to see how much you care about the talent and support for our wrestlers. Stay tuned. Man,
What gets it for me is it's typed in the manner in which Tony will probably talk if we were talking in real life as well. That's what gets a little tip of that for me. I appreciate your dedication to the gimmick, whoever you may be.
I'm just waiting for the combativeness. That's all. I'm waiting for the. This is too. This is too clean. They
No,
gotta be a rebuttal.
if there was combativeness, we would have got pinched by now. Let's be honest.
Something would have went wrong. Like we would have got zip black screen. Like
Yeah, we got hit about 10 minutes ago. No, but anyway, I mean, the show as a whole, I mean, it's always gonna be cool, but like I said, for the last 5 years, they don't need to be far long. The bigger shows, all right, I get it, but you don't want to be like WWE. That's fine too, but does it have to be Shivani and Excalibur on commentary?
that's another thing too. I'm
For
not gonna lie.
the
Like
Ring of Honor, no, for the ring, I'm gonna get a little petty right now. For the Ring of Honor stuff, why can't it be Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman? For the referees, why can't it be Sinclair? Why can't Bobby Cruz introduce the cards in the matches anymore for the Ring of Honor stuff? That's a Ring of Honor crew right there.
Mauro Ronaldo, give me him, and I can listen to your product all day. Give me Mauro. I'll be happy with that, bro.
I know you see what I see right now.
Tony, have a great night, man. We appreciate you, Tony.
Tony, send me a bottle, send me a case of whatever you're drinking, and I will enjoy it plethorably.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying?
That may
And,
not be a word, but that could be a word tonight.
and before you go, you know what I'm saying? We got it right there on the banner. You know what I'm saying? Woo underscore styles, razor underscore core. You know what I'm saying? Tony, we're here, man. We can do this for you on a weekly basis.
On all media platforms.
We do this no problem on a weekly basis, Tony. This is what we do, man. We appreciate you finally catching
We, we,
wind.
we will happily do more frequently if you want to discuss this once we're off the air. Oh, damn. I needed that.
Yeah, somebody got it. I'm not gonna lie. Somebody got it. You guys are
But
good.
but but as far as the main event, take the bullshit aside. Just the match itself. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was a for the money
Okay,
non-matching.
everything before the pinfall.
You know what I mean? Look, for the amount of money you're gonna spend watching this pay-per-view, 4 hours, you're definitely getting your money's worth. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna, you know, you could spend $50 easily going to the movie theaters and watching a movie you don't like for 2 hours, or for
You
probably
you
less.
you could have gone to a Dave and Buster's, got a $10 pint of beer, and watched the whole goddamn show potentially, according to them, the way they're booking it.
Man, oof.
So essentially, so to some folks, they got the show for the price of a WWE PLE on the cock.
And that's where that's the harsh reality when you got WWE giving out PLEs of high quality for the price that you're able to watch them for. It's mind blowing. It's like, damn, it's tough, man. It's really tough.
But as far as like, the WWE, like Cornette said it best, they are getting paid
What's
a
up, Alex?
fuckload of money for the bare minimum. It's literally the bare minimum.
Yeah, we got Tony
He
Khan
said,
in the building.
he said I got to put that back up for the one time.
Yeah. We got the real Tony Khan in the building, man. Shout out to Tony Khan, man. You know what I'm saying? The same way WrestleMania had 16,420 members in attendance. We have Tony Khan in attendance. Thank you. Let's get right, guys. Let's get right.
I mean, in all honesty, the pressure's probably long over. The math is mathing.
But I'm gonna be honest. How did you feel? I'm gonna get back to how I felt, but like I want to know how you felt with the whole match too, or not the whole match, the whole pay per view. Before I finish my little tidbit about it, I want to get your little thoughts on it because I'm not too familiar with everything that AEW is doing, so I might have some thoughts. Like my view is just like, okay, I know the current wrestlers, but I don't know the current stories. I'm jumping in today. That's the type of opinion I can give you. But as somebody that's keeping up with the product, I'm more interested to see how'd you feel about this.
Overall, I had more faith in them to put on a product. I mean, aside from certain matches, I could as always I could do without, but I expected more out of them. Um, you take the regular bullshit out the way. I thought the matches that I enjoyed them thoroughly. Like whether it be Darby and Brody, Swerve, or no, the Swerve segment, the Jay White Hangman match I enjoyed. I enjoyed the tag match in the pre-show between the Maxim Models and the Acclaimed, even with Rico's reemergence. I enjoyed parts of the women's match. I enjoyed most of the main event. Um, Again, most of the shows are either knock your socks off or they're just fine, just a little long winded. But what definitely kind of killed the vibe for me was what happened after the closing bells of the main event. Now, again, as we said at the start of the show, a lot of emotions riding into this main event. Potentially, as we know of, I haven't seen the pressure yet, but as we know of at the time of this recording, this was the final countdown, the final time. And the last moments we technically will see of Brian Danielson are essentially him getting mugged.
Preach, Alex.
And
Talk.
it's him essentially getting killed off TV essentially. But had this been anybody else, You could have got say whatever say Darby for sake conversation. Babyface. Darby happens to beat Danielson. You have a wholesome moment there. You give Danielson his little proper send off if that's the actual thing. Instead of this, as you put it, Brian, this is how you're gonna go out? Really? Really? And what's sad for me is between this moment and some of the rumored issues I'd read earlier this morning, going last night, which I'll get into in a little bit. Kind of left a sour taste in my mouth because more often than not, a lot of these bigger AW shows is always one or a few controversial moments. And aside from the return of the plastic bag, the big controversy was what the fuck happened with Jimmy Jacobs. Now, Ishi, I don't know if you kind of read into what happened with that. Some say he stepped away. Some say Tony fired him. But some of the tying stories were that Jimmy was put under the bus and fed to the wolves. When shit's going bad, as the joke goes, he needed a scapegoat. Now Jimmy's had a interesting past route for WWE, current route for AEW, quote unquote, great friends with the Young Bucks. So his departure was a little bit shocking to me because I've been under the impression these last few years, ever since Punk's removal, was anybody that's going to be friends with the Bucks essentially is bulletproof. I assume the same for Jimmy Jacobs. I'm wrong, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, Jericho might be closer to Tony than the Bucks. So the second that the Bucks like they decide they want that whole little scene is just gonna be Tony and Jericho and whatever other trusted confidants, Christopher Daniels that maybe around. But I think it's for me. It's been the Tony show. The Bucks just get what they want to do with the tag team division, but the rest has been to me the Tony show.
Which then makes me believe that because of all this
They put
drama,
the plastic bag over the man's head again tonight and had him stretch it out. For God's sake, even Mick Foley would have got off the damn stretcher and came back to get beat up one more
so
time. If that's how you're gonna go out.
not only put the bag over his head, put the chair over his neck. Claudio gave him a curb stomp,
Yeah,
and then they put his ass on the stretcher.
yeah, like it. You know,
But
for me, it was just this. I've never seen a legend go out this way. Like, I mean, go. I mean, Undertaker maybe losing to Brock was shocking. Um, what's the Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin? But I mean, come on, we seen how Sting just got treated. The send off for Bryan was at Wembley. If you're gonna have him do the job and lose to somebody, it should have been a swerve. And
or Darby,
but I think even that match right there was Swerve because now Swerve is in a weird spot now too, where it's like he didn't take a step back, but he's kind of like they got him just lingering now again. Like, okay, he about to get into the. So does that take him away from the heavyweight scene for the foreseeable future? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I think it'd have been dope if he kind of shit like he gets that match against his idol with the championship.
could you imagine this main event if it was Swerve as a heel versus Darby as a babyface? The two
Man,
local kids main event in their backyard
they had a lot of money on the table with Swerve.
versus what we got tonight.
And they could go back to it, but I think they needed to strike while the iron was hot. The backstage promo with MJF and Swerve, it left me salivating for more. I'm still like, okay, they don't need the belt for that. Why we never went back to that? They're money on the mic against each other. They can shoot the shits with each other.
The same argument could have been made 3 years ago between Swerve and Keith Lee.
Like, yes, when they had the tag team and then they broke
MJF
apart.
versus Wardlow.
Where's them brothers at? Pardon me for the Shane Taylor promotion. I don't know everybody's name in the promotion, but I know Shane Taylor. Like you know, what I'm saying he was with Keith. Where them brothers at, man? I know they ROH, but come on, can we get them over to AEW television? Like, what's going on? Like we had them there that one time with Shibata doing all this extra stuff, right? Like the 6-man match.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get them back for some regular schedule programming? Like, I'm just saying. Cause I think Swerve's like it would have been more for me to see Brian. Like I don't understand why Moxley, like you said, they got history. There's history there, but if you want to put over the young, fresh, I'm not saying Moxley doesn't have, but he got more miles on him than Swerve does.
I get it. When you're back in the corner, that's the guy who you lean your shoulder on. I get that, but
Again, I asked that question.
this wasn't the time to do it. And if you're gonna try the same bullshit that didn't work in Chicago,
He got 5 now, right? 4.
4-time AEW champion now.
Do we ever count those? Chat? Are we counting AEW heavyweight championships if they ever go back to WWE? Cody's the rare case; he never won, so he got his first in WWE. If Moxley ever goes back, are we counting him? Does he get the Ric Flair?
They won't count the AEW, but they may count his run as IWGP champion.
And he was a former WWE champion, so they could run up Ambrose slash Moxley's numbers if they ever decided to.
Alex, I kind of agree with you
Darby needs to be world champ. I'm surprised it hasn't happened.
because
To be
again,
honest,
say Swerve wins at Wembley. The main event for this could have been Darby versus Swerve, or we crown Darby as champion.
yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't
But,
happened. To be
but,
honest,
but like I said before, those that are buddy buddy with this man and the Young Bucks get what they want, essentially. Look at Mercedes. Look at Moxley. Look at what's happened to FTR. Look at what's happened to Ricky Starks. Sammy Guevara was put on an island in as banishment to only to be relegated to Ring of Honor after the man just had a baby. What apparently Britt Baker's hurt again.
I'm not gonna lie. Big Bill's being wasted sitting at the wayside of Jericho. I just wanted to say
He's
that.
another one. And then
Big,
you can add in Hobbs, you can add in Wardlow. Yeah, Sammy's on top with he got a concussion again. But again, apparently Britt Baker's hurt again. I don't remember her getting hurt in the match with Mercedes.
you know what? You know what's my takeaway from tonight? All I hear is Jr. Not Jeff Jarrett. Not Jeff Jarrett.
Uh-oh.
That shit got it. Not Jeff Jarrett. Like he sounded legit. Like hold on. Like not Jeff Jarrett throwing himself out there now. Like
How is it the 60-year-old man beat all you guys to the fucking ring to try to help the man from being choked out?
not Jeff Jarrett.
How is Adam Cole a babyface again? He was out there.
I'm glad we spun the block back on this ending because that's why I asked, is there blood and guts coming up? It gave me some team versus team shit happening again soon. Like,
That's all the summertime stuff. You could get something full gear. You could get something. I think it's called World's End, whatever their New Year's pay per view is.
like,
And
are they still
then
called the British Combat Club? They still have the same
yeah,
members as it.
it's still Blackpool Combat Club,
Oh yeah, Blackpool. Like,
but yeah. So you have full gear, you have World's End, and then I think it's Revolution, unless they have something before Revolution. But I think that's the lineup coming up. But then they'll still have their Battle of the Belts. They'll still have their Title Tuesdays, their random Dynamite shows that they dub as big shows, quote unquote.
Where do we go from here with AEW? What does I mean? They probably got the card already out, but what does Wednesday look like for us? What can we expect after Wrestle Dream? Which I felt
Wednesdays,
like Wrestle Dream had no
Wednesdays, what
identity.
I'm worried about is what happens next year is what gets me because next year they'll be on Max
Mm.
because we're probably gonna get some more bullshit with Hangman and uh Jay and the Gun Club basically or Bullet Club or whatever they're called now, the Gun Club. Um, we'll probably get more with Orange Cassidy and Hook. We'll probably. Oh, also we didn't touch on this. The legend himself, Jerry Lynn, potentially teasing a new gimmick for Orange Cassidy or subject for him. Yep, my thoughts exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we shall see. Hopefully, I'm gonna do my best to. I think I gotta see because if shout out to CBS, shout out to Big Brother. I think that it's gonna be their season finale this
Wait,
Wednesday.
will you find out this week?
Nah, I can't, man. They can send, we can do the auditions though. You know what's crazy about that though? To stay in that Big Brother house, you really got to be in there for I think 90
You got to
days.
be committed for a few months.
Yeah, 90
Committed,
days.
committed.
No phone, no tablets, no access to the outside world.
Unless they tell you you have access.
Crazy. I told them too. I got to do the proper auditions, but I added them. I told them, we could talk. We could do this something. We could do it. I send them the auditions. I send you guys what you need. We'll go through the
Now,
proper
now,
channels.
did the missus give you the green light for the question?
Hmm.
Oh, she did.
Yeah. She told me. She said, "Go ahead." I said, "I know I'm gonna be in there tight with some of the people. I'm gonna be looking at some of the people doing foolish stuff.
You gonna be the first motherfucker throwing hands.
Man, I'm gonna be mad. Like it's gonna be so crazy." It was some lady on there. Not to segue too far, but just because we talk about it, was some lady on there named Angela. This lady was just like over the top. She was an older lady, and bro, she was just pressing all the young people, calling everybody out on their shit. She packed up one of the youngest dudes there, week one. She called him. She said, "Crazy eyes." Like I'm like, oh nah, she packing people up. Like she was definitely one of the more
No,
entertaining ones.
you gotta have the thick skin.
Gotta have to. She was out there getting under people. But you know what's funny about her too? When it was convenient for her game, she started crying. Make everybody feel sympathetic for her. She'll start crying. I was like, nah, this is the ultimate manipulation tactic right here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so if I don't got that show, I'm gonna definitely attempt to tap in with Wednesday, tap in with Tuesday. We definitely tapping in Monday. Monday
From
Night
what I've
Raw.
been seeing, we definitely gotta get back up on our NXT shit
Yeah, it's looking
because
like they about to.
they've been firing lately.
Yeah, it's looking like they're about to go uphill for real. I'm not gonna lie. And people just keep coming back
Because,
off injuries now, and we
but
got a lot
also
going
like
on.
weeks 1 and weeks 2 for their debuts on CW, they're averaging 850,
Mm.
and no one thought they would start that high.
Nah, that's a beautiful thing though, cause again, the expectations was low, so they could only go. You know, what I'm saying they can only go up, and that's where they going. So it's a good trajectory. They got a lot of good stuff going on program wise. Um, I expect some
They got a
frustration
PLE
too.
coming up if I'm not mistaken. They
Yeah,
got Halloween Havoc in a couple weeks, and then they got No Mercy.
They must have been listening to us because we were definitely speaking about superstar shakeups. We didn't get to talk on about SmackDown. 'Cause I'm a little under the weather, so I woke up late yesterday. But Lash Legend, Jakar Jackson,
Possible call up.
we
They
seeing stuff.
again, for those that may not know, Lash is like that. Her and Jade, you heard it here first.
I think that's what if we get in that direction for the next upcoming months, where like I kind
Even
of been hitting, we get to
even old
talk.
girl Miss Jackson, feisty one.
No, it's an interesting talent pool because, like you said, at any given moment they can. They got TNA contracted people on CW. I mean, on USA program. Like, it's a lot going on, so it's a good time for them.
Allegedly, WWE just bagged Jordan Grace.
Mm.
You had her to that very loaded women's singles roster in NXT,
Again, too, like
or even
TNA,
the main roster.
TNA, that shows they doing good business because although you want to keep your best champion or whatever, you also want to let them grow and show people that all right, you know what I mean. You can grow here and eventually make it here. So I really enjoy that they allow if they're gonna allow her to walk. I'm not looking at it, and people probably like, oh, how you gonna say if AEW did it? It's like that. But the thing is, WWE WrestleMania. That's it. That's all I'm thinking about. That's the end game. WrestleMania. That's
Back to
what.
back nights, sold out crowds.
Yes. And now we are gearing towards a new generation where we getting 2 night SummerSlams, 2 night like
Or let's get into it. I said this earlier in the week. Uh, Elimination Chamber next year still has no home. You got
Roxanne
multiple
Perez,
countries fighting over who gets that PLE. You got different
Roxanne
vendors all
Perez.
over the world fighting over who gets what show.
Yeah, yeah, they clamoring countries for the PLEs.
Like Canada wants Elimination Chamber, the UK wants Elimination Chamber, Mexico wants it, Saudi wants it.
The networks want certain superstars exclusively.
Now, as far as the Chamber exclusively, who do you air that one on? The Rock, Roman Reigns, or John Cena? Because Cena said this will be his final chamber. That alone bumped the price on the show. You best believe that definitely shot the price up at least 1-0, maybe two.
Yeah, no, it's the Cena farewell tour for sure. I mean, I think I would have Cena winning I mean, he could probably take a. I would have to know the dates, but I think Chamber.
I think it matters who if he wins or not. But it's just the fact that he had publicly said that's going to be his last Elimination Chamber PLE.
Business is booming.
That between that, Rock said he's going to be very active in 2025. Roman's here. We potentially could be getting Brock back at any point in time. Seth's back. Punk's healthy. Drew's healthy.
Yeah, it's a crazy time in
Loaded.
WWE. Yup.
And like I said, you have countries fighting over who wants to show. That
Yeah.
speaks volume. And again, AEW, take note. When you, again, yes, it takes a while to do right, but you gotta cut some habits if you want to make money. Now, again, Tony, spend all the money you want on this. I mean, shit. How much did it cost you to pay for the entire? song of Final Countdown today. You get paid for the whole damn song today. I know that wasn't cheap.
Which again, I'm glad you mentioned that one last time. It was cool and cheesy at the same time because it was giving me Anarchy in the Arena vibes.
And
But
I was worried I was going to play for the entire 30, 40 minutes that the match was going on.
it gave me worries at first. I was like, oh man. And then you hear the
But
commentators play into it. Oh, and the music's still going. The music didn't even cut off. Who cares if the music cut off or not? That's what made me feel like it was going into the Anarchy. Like, all right, here we go.
also, I'm not sure if you caught on to it. When Briscoe won his match in the co-main, his music started playing as he hit the J Driller.
Mm. Oh, and look, also too though, just throw this in the air. The reason I think Brian was also not done, we seen Mina hop on him right before the match started. That could leave room for Bree to be like, all right, one last go, let's take them out. And him and his wife, he could go out on top. Now, I wouldn't like to see that, but
I think if that was going to happen, it would have been tonight
now that's what I'm
or
thinking.
or
But the
Wembley.
way,
That would have been the time.
but the way he went out was kind of like,
I know, but again, if we were going to see any instances of Bree mode, tonight would have been the night. Because I don't know if you noticed, there's a couple times during the match, after the match, the camera panned to the ramp.
but yeah, I said that. I wrote that too. I don't know if you seen it. I said the camera work did
Mhm.
bad right there.
Yeah,
They giving up
so,
the spots.
yeah. Timing could have been off or whatever the case, but it happened a few times in this match. So again, if Brie was to come out tonight, would have been the opportune night because of said significance. But there's a whole lot of shit. This is one of the shows where, from start to finish, there was more shoulda, coulda, wouldas than there needed to be. But then again, you never want to shoulda, coulda, woulda. But AEW loves those.
Man, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Um, the only thing I do want to pick your brain on is I touched on it very briefly earlier. Was it's rumored that in a couple weeks, at least Maria Kanellis' contract is up. And as of this time, there have been zero conversations with her. Now,
I'm not hating on her.
Maria
She
was
don't
the
do
reason I
nothing
bring this
for
up was
me though.
Maria. I bring this up because Maria was a mainstay of Ring of Honor, and with the livelihood of Ring of Honor in jeopardy, could we see folks like Athena, Josh Woods, and other folks that were Ring of Honor mainstays contracts be coming up on top of that? Because that's going to free up a lot of names.
Yeah, so basically the company's going defunct right before our very own
Apparently,
eyes.
well, there's no contract, which means done.
And that's what I'm saying. Tony's too, like you said,
Unless someone's going to pay for it out of pocket.
and it looked like that's not going to happen because of what you're saying is all but like all accurate that the WB's giving him all of this money. So he's working on AEW with that. He don't really want to spend on Ring of Honor right now.
Did you hear Jericho on Busted Open this week?
I didn't get to hear all of it now.
He said they're getting north of 185.
Yeah, he sounded real
Everyone,
confident from what I was hearing.
everyone else has said at least 150.
No, maybe he's making it sound good just to throw some fluff at us.
But again, from what folks have been saying, 3 years from now, Warner Brothers could get in the one finger salute, and the show's over at that moment in time. Other folks claim that Warner Brothers owns now the majority. Some the conspiracy theorists claim Meltzer's got some stake in it as well. I don't know. Nothing's ever public with them, but back with Ring of Honor, it's like you just hate to see companies end up like and be in the situation to where they're done without even having a chance to fight back.
They was done when Tony bought them. I'm gonna be honest.
Yep, most definitely. Because at the time when
It
Tony
was
got him,
WCW all over
Rampage was
again.
struggling, Clips were struggling. They still had dark and dark elevation, so Ring of Honor just felt like the sixth or seventh show. Which is fair because again, that roster alone from Dalton Castle to Athena to Josh Woods.
And then I'm sorry to say, there's nothing that you can do. History kind of repeats itself, and where WWE bringing WCW guys tried to put the WCW on the last hour of Raw, whatever bullshit. That shit didn't work. They still had the WCW guys. Not all of them were able to transition, and it
Look at
just didn't look
DCW.
right. Yup, same. So it did more harm than good. Tony being the one to purchase them, but I always felt the only reason he wanted to purchase them was because of that um pay per view,
The,
that All Out.
yep, the only reason he wanted it was for the he can own the original All In. That
Oh
was
yeah,
it.
All In. Yup.
That was it. And when he paid for that, he just happened to pay for the full library and the talent. It's like, all right, cool. All he had to do was give the company to either the Briscoe brothers or Jeff Jarrett or somebody and leave it the fuck alone. Couldn't even do that.
I'm gonna be honest. If the company was gonna go downhill like this, I just like preferred the whoever sold it, whoever was the
You
owner.
could have kept yeah, you could have kept Kerry Silken in charge. Said, hey,
Well,
I'm gonna fund it, but you're still running all of it. Cool.
WWE wanted to buy they library, and
Hmm.
I felt like it would have added to what the cinema WWE do now. They go back to the lot, man. Come on,
But
they just be doing shit to
but
be petty and
because
shit. Like
because of the original
they have
All Out,
faith.
Tony had to have it.
Yeah, and it was the unfortunate timely business of Vince was still in power, so I gotta understand that too. That like they probably didn't want to
But
do the business with them at that time for that.
even when Kerry Silken sold, it seemed very weird because I feel they were regaining some ground. It's just maybe at that moment in time because Kerry was still paying everybody their actual contractual obligated deals throughout the pandemic. That definitely ate through the funds. I get that, but if Tony was going to buy it, yeah, he could have owned the original All In, but he could have easily said, "Hey, Kerry, I will fund you as long as you run this, and I will stay completely out of it." That'd have been just fine. And then maybe Kerry could have bought himself out in a couple years, which they probably would have, and Ring of Honor would still be thriving to this day.
Man, well, it seems like Chad. That's it, man. Cause AEW, I'm tapped on them for the night. I'm not gonna lie. I'm good on the good old AEW for the night. I hope y'all have fun with us though, for sure, man. Cause
I'm trying to keep my blood pressure low.
yeah, I definitely want to be like, I guess patient is the word I'm looking for right now to Wednesday and see where this shit goes. But I feel this is the pay per view for me that like 5 years in, like I said, I barely watch the product from a
But
week to week
but
basis.
you still know what you're going to get out of them.
Yeah, and if this didn't change my mind on Wednesday, then I mean,
It's going to be what it's going to be. I would hope that the numbers go back to 600, 700K at least. But if they're anything sub that after getting their ass whooped by NXT this past Tuesday, Tony's gonna have a hard look in the mirror.
No, yeah, man. They slowly creeping out of that number two. Like I said, there's other options on the table. I'm even willing to put TNA there, right behind WWE. So
Busted Open kind of touched on that too, because and I even argue that TNA they've been doing their own thing for 20 plus years.
the only thing
MOW been doing their own shit for 20 plus years.
only thing that makes AEW a number two in people's eyes is the amount of money that's being spent. Yes, the
Yep.
money that's funded into it, the pocketbook, the checkbook. That's it. But in terms of to me
Yeah.
prestige, I look at the TNA prestige, the Impact Championship with more prestige than the AEW Championship because of what it's been through. Everything, like you said, the last 20 years.
But then, like with TNA, much like WWE, they're battle tested. They've been through some shit.
Hmm.
They scratch and clawed out of shit. AEW, they're just now experiencing this. So again, one would hope that they scratch and claw their way out. But if you look back at their short history, a lot of it comes off as self-inflicted.
Yeah, they got a very
Yeah,
WCW
I
vibe
mean,
to them.
okay. So for sake of conversation, let's eliminate the bulk of the pandemic years. They're 3 years old, and a lot of things hurt them in those 3 years. That was their fault.
And the live audience, yeah, in the big arena, yeah. When it starts shifting, and another thing, CM Punk was really an impact for them. And then I also think that what's hurting is watching two superstars walk from AEW and seeing how they're featured in WWE hurts. And like
One of those superstars was one of your executive vice presidents.
it hurts because now people start to think, well, what if this person was back over here? It's no longer the desire to see people leave WWE. It's no longer the desire to like, oh, I want them to leave. No, the desire is actually to bring them back. Final boss is involved.
When Vince stepped down the first time, you had folks like Samoa Joe and other guys that were former WWE guys that said, "Hey, had I known Triple H was going to take over this soon, I would have stuck around a little bit."
Regal saw the writing on the wall. That man went right back. He like he no nope.
Regal saw it, Cody saw it, Ricky's counting his days, much like Jade did. Andrade saw it. Fuck, who
Miro
else?
been seen it. He trying to get out.
But you can draw the line to so many folks, and it it shouldn't have to be this way, but here we are.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's wild to think about.
Mark Henry saw the light after a few years.
Again, and I feel like they were being misused by Vince. Like Triple H found a creative way to feature the legends in his Legends deal and have them on television. Now I don't know if they're getting paid for these appearances or if they showing up out of love or as guests,
It was definitely a paid appearance.
and that's even better, right? So they finding a way to use the legends as to where before Vince was letting them walk. So they felt like they had no other option. Again, they got options now. There's no longer this desire to, oh, we have to leave unless you want something that's like it's like chasing the dragon. Like I felt like Edge, Adam Copeland was kind of chasing the dragon. Like WWE gave you what you wanted.
As was Claudio, as was Danielson, as was Malachi Black, as was Keith Lee. You could throw in Swerve in that mix. You could even throw in MVP in her business.
Cause working with the youth in AEW, you can make that argument. You was doing that in WWE. Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Damian Priest is a little on the older side of Finn Balor as well, but
Adam Copeland broke his leg over a mid-title match or a mid-card title. and something that he admitted was stupid that he knew better not to do.
Right. Rhea Ripley, Edge had a hand in having her in the Judgment Day.
Her and Priest.
Yep. So you did more for WWE still to this day than what you did in AEW. Like I don't. And from my understanding, it was money and the championship thing. He wanted to be featured more in the championship scene. And
Hopefully, wanted to be in the main event scene. Yeah.
I mean, and that's why Rey Mysterio's the OG too, cause like he be out. He's a Hall of Famer right now. He's out there going out working. Like if he's a regular talent on the roster, like
Now, I know we touched on this earlier, but do you see Kevin Owens leaving?
nah.
I do.
Yeah, I know you was touching on that. I felt like his time to leave was a couple months ago when
Well, he still hasn't resigned yet.
yeah. I mean, we'll
I can
see
see
with
him
him.
leaving. I can see Gargano leaving. Anybody that's got ties to PWG minus Sami Zayn, I can see them leaving.
We shall see.
And if Gargano leaves, that will probably include Candice LeRae. Maybe Ciampa, but Ciampa I think is on a different deal.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like Kevin Owens, he's cool. He's been cool, but feel like with the landscape of his character arc in WWE and where it's been at, his peak has kind of came and went by for me.
Which is why I see him leaving because it's like he'll go take the fat ass bag and go retire kicking it with his boys.
Yeah, if he do that, then
All right,
yeah,
go get your money.
yeah. Like in Ricochet's case, I felt like it was a little different. Like you still in a good shape, you're wild athletic, but you just couldn't put it together. So you make an excuse
Ricochet
to
ain't no
leave.
spring chicken either.
Nah, he's not, but he's in good shape. Kevin Owens, he's like in that shape where it's like I'm
Kevin
not.
Owens is in better shape than he was when he was in Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he was a big boy then. He was a big boy. But I'm just saying, like for me, Kevin Owens don't like give me heavyweight with the heavyweights of now vibes. Even like Cody either, to be honest. Like, but like again, I always say when they make Cody go over on Brock Lesnar, that was kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. 2 times.
Yeah, but that was the setup what we got this past April. Nothing more, nothing less. But th- this is the season where a lot of folks' contracts is coming up, and we'll see if anybody makes the jump this way or that way.
Hmm.
But on the subject, back to go back to Danielson. If this was actually it, like for sure this was it. Would next year be too soon? Now I know he's already had very adamant words about this in the past, but if a call was to be made, would Tony greenlight WWE letting him put him in the Hall of Fame next year?
Yeah. The only dicey situation is what kind of contract, right? Like we got to make sure because you
But
see Rey
say say say
Mysterio.
say, say it's just for a one-off. Say, hey, we want to honor what he's done for this industry for what he's done for our business. We want to fly him out to Vegas, put him in the Hall of Fame. He shows up to maybe that smack in the Hall of Fame ceremony. That's it, and then boom, you don't speak of it ever again
It could
unless he
only
wants to come back.
it could only make AEW look good. Like Tony just stopped need to like seeming like he anti AEW, and maybe it's too late for that. But it's better to start somewhere.
And this would
But
probably be the most appropriate olive branch
yep. But I
because
Also, though, that
Oh,
Penta and Ray Phoenix move kind of like was a saucy
yeah,
one too. Because now you telling me if they want to go, is it because they going there or just because they want to leave? Period.
and that shouldn't matter. But my thing is like again, Dennis is one of those guys to where he's beloved by everybody. Let's be honest, this man could punt a puppy into the river off a bridge and they'll still love him.
Hmm.
This man is adored by everybody. So if to put I don't say put stuff aside, but any beast aside, whatever, but just to do right by Brian and his family, what he's done for professional wrestling as a whole. If Triple H make that phone call to him, and then Brian relays that to us, saying, "Hey, they want me to put me in the Hall of Fame, whatever, blah blah blah." If I'm Tony, I'm saying, "Go do it. You earned it," and just leave it at that. Now, would that happen? I don't think it's very likely, especially if he's asking Tony for his blessing.
I need him to go into the Hall of Fame with the song he debuted in AEW with,
Well,
and
final
think.
countdown.
Nah, it was the other shit. It was the other shit. That little remix shit to the Valkyrie. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I know what it's called.
It sounded like some
It, it, it
upbeat
was it
shit.
was it was it was a little trap remix of Flat of the Valkyries.
Hmm.
But yeah, but again, like me personally being a fan of the Yes movement, I would love
Count
to
in the
see
chat.
Brian in that
Yes,
Hall of
sir.
Fame. I mean, I feel it's only appropriate, especially if you have Brie Bella induct him, his wife. May add Nikki in there too because I don't know if you remember back in the day, the Bella twins were fighting over Daniel Bryan, as was an AJ Lee. I'm just saying, if this is the end for Bryan, let's do right by him.
Man, do right
Let's
by
not
Brian.
let's not wait till he's in a situation like a Dynamite Kid or a Draws or whatever. If this is it, all right, let's appreciate him while he's of sound body and mind. Let's not wait till the 11th till it's too late. That's all I'm saying.
Do right by Brian. That's my campaign. Chat. I appreciate everybody. We've been here for 2 hours and a half, wrapping up AEW Wrestle Dream, hits and misses. Unwelcome your thoughts off the hip. My brother Razor, your boy HD. We out of here, y'all. Until Monday night. Stay tuned in with us. Peace.